Bonjour French 1. The purpose of this video is to get you ready for your section 1.1 quiz. The first section of your 1.1 quiz will be a listening section in which you will hear people give their ages, and you'll have to match that with a number on your paper. So you'll have to be able to hear numbers and recognize them. So just as a quick way of recapping, I wanted to pronounce all the numbers for you one more time. I'm not going to say the English meaning because you can just follow along on your screen. In French, the numbers are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So again, for the listening section that will start your test or your quiz, you will hear somebody say something along the lines of Bonjour, je m'appelle Claire, j'ai 17 ans. And you'll have to understand that she just said, besides, hi, my name is Claire, when she said j'ai 17 ans, she was saying, I am 17 years old. So you have to be able to zero in on the word 17, know that it means 17, and then match it up with the correct answer on your quiz. The next section on your quiz will have you match the statements given in French with a picture representing that statement. So if the statement is something like, it's going well, you might match it with somebody with a smiley face or something like that. If the statement is something like, see you later, then you have to match it with somebody waving goodbye. So you need to be familiar with these French phrases, and if you see them on paper, be able to recognize them. So the phrases include, ça va bien, which means it's going well, à tout à l'heure, which means see you later, salut Marc, ça va, which is hi Mark, how's it going, or how are you? Au revoir and à bientôt mean goodbye and see you soon. Plus ou moins is so-so, as in how are you doing? You're doing plus ou moins, so-so. Pas très bien is also an answer for how you're doing. It's not so well. Bonjour, Madame Dinwiddie is hello, Mrs. Dinwiddie. And j'ai 16 ans is I'm 16 years old. So be familiar enough with those phrases that you know what they mean and can match them with a picture. For the third section on your quiz, you will be given a conversation that is in a scrambled order, and you will have to put it in the correct order. This is a sample conversation here to help you practice. I went ahead and wrote out to the side what these phrases mean in English. Of course, on your study guide and on your actual quiz, they won't be there, but just to help you kind of think through it. And if you'd like to think through it by writing them out on your test, you can, but you don't have to. Basically, this conversation should go in the order provided, and I'll kind of read through it so you can realize how it makes sense. The first thing that should be said is the first person says, Bonsoir, comment tu t'appelles? Which is, good evening, what is your name? If the first person asks what's your name, then the next line needs to be somebody answering what their name is. So for number 2, I put, Je m'appelle Jacques et toi, which means my name is Jacques, what about you? Again, they just asked the question, what about you? What about your name? So we need to answer that with line 3. Line 3 is Je m'appelle Luc, which is my name is Luc. There's only 2 lines left, and if you look, one of them's a question, one of them's an answer. So we're going to say that the 4th line of this dialogue is ça va, which is how's it going and how are you doing? And that the 5th line is the person responding to that by saying ça va bien, merci. It's going well, thanks. Again, just make sure you're familiar with the vocabulary, because if you know what it means, then it's really easy to put the conversation in the right order. The last section of your test is going to require you to write out some French sentences. Basically, they're going to give you a topic, and they want you to respond using a complete French sentence. I want to remind you that you are going to have to do this off the top of your head. Spelling counts, so do study this section, because these are actually the same 5 questions from your quiz. They're not necessarily in the same order, and the names may have been changed, but it's basically what you will have to actually do on your test. Realize also that some of these I gave you more than one option for answers because it's open-ended. You can actually have more than one right answer for some of these. You just need to think about picking the one that's easiest for you to do. So keeping that in mind, if you need to say hello and give your name, you're going to need to write things like bonjour, je m'appelle, and then of course don't put Madame D because your name's not that. Fill in your own name. Or you could use salut, je m'appelle Madame D. For number 2, we've got tell how you are feeling. Lots of options for that. You can say très bien if you're feeling very well, bien if you're feeling good, pas mal if you're feeling not bad, pas très bien if you're not feeling so well. Lots of options here, and even more than what I have listed. Again, choose the one that you're the most comfortable with writing out and use that as what your answer is going to be on the test. You do not have to write all 4. If your friend introduces you to her friend and you have to respond to the introduction, you need to say nice to meet you, or in your notes we put it as delighted, and that word is enchanté. Remember, if you are a lady watching this video and writing this, you will need to add an extra E to your enchanté. It's part of what makes it feminine. I know it's really strange. Gentlemen, don't write an extra E, and no matter what, don't put parentheses. Either add the E without the parentheses or don't add it at all. But keep in mind that gentlemen will not add the E and ladies will. If you have to give your age, you need to write out that number in a French word, so be careful and be ready for that. Go ahead and look up your age ahead of time. You should know. In order to put it in complete sentence, as they ask, you have to use the word j'ai, then you use the number. Now, your number is not going to be 32 because you're not 32 years old like I am, but figure out what number you would put for your own age, and then use the word ans, which is years after it. So my answer for giving my age is j'ai 32 ans. And then to say goodbye, lots of different options here. I've listed a few of them. There's, of course, more on your notes, including au revoir, à demain, à bientôt, and à plus tard. Au revoir meaning goodbye, à demain meaning see you tomorrow, à bientôt see you soon, and à plus tard see you later. Also, don't forget about the U Extra section of your test, as in U Extra credit. The Quizlet site is set up for you, and I've got the web address on the back of your study guide if you'd like to use it for some more extra bonus points that you could potentially earn on your test. It's not required, but it can definitely make up for any tiny mistakes you make points-wise on your test. Please make sure that you bring this paper with you to class, along with any questions that you might have about the test. We will rewatch this video right before you take the test and answer any questions quickly before we get to it.